welcome back to my YouTube channel for another Spooktember video. So I've got these Dolly postcards. They're kind of creepy, very creepy, and I thought they would make a little piece of Halloween decor. I know, they're absolutely horrible, aren't they? They're horrible in a really creepy Halloween kind of way. You ain't seen nothing, right? Yeah, creepy in a really proper Halloweeny way. I mean, ugh, yeah, horrible. But I couldn't resist them. So I think I'm going to... That's not the creepiest, believe me. That one is. Yeah, so I think that one where the little girl or the little Dolly sat. I'm going in reverse, can you see? There's one where she sat in the garden, I think, which is probably going to be the best. Or that one there. I like that one. Where's the one? But that one. I think that one is probably the one that I'm going to go for. Yeah, just plain postcards on the back. They are kind of thick as well. So, I'll put those in my stash. So we're going to use that today. But also, we're going to use one of my mixed media Medite surfaces. So this was, the last time we used one of these was when we did, the Mixed Media Mayhem art class in Retford. So I'm going to use the rectangle one because it seems more appropriate for the shape. So let's just grab that out of there. That's the hanging mechanism, which I'll show you later on. Right, so this is the actual outer frame. Obviously, it's got a thing in it. So we'll just pop, how easy that came out. All right, so that's going to be our frame, and our spooky little Dolly is going to be in the middle of that. So, totally and utterly. So what we need to do is we need to position that and then cut it down so that it's going to fit within, like so. So I'm going to, of course it moved. Right, let's just position her. There. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a pencil. Now it's better, or a pen, but it's better if you have something with a pointy end, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just draw a line on the inside of this, and just there and there. And hopefully, I don't want to get my head too much in shot there, but that's probably, I'm hoping that's almost at the top for us to be able to see exactly where we need to cut. Yeah, excellent. So put that to one side. Grab my cutting mat and my ruler. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the inside of the line. So if I cut on the inside of the line, I'm compensating for the pen nib. Oh, my tummy just started rumbling then. So that we're almost exact there, which is fine. But I'm just going to take a little bit off, and then here follow that line down. So that now, with any luck, should fit. I might just need to trim a little bit more off. but I reckon that's pretty much there. Ew, right, okie dokie. Right, let me have a quick tidy up, get rid of the mat, and then I'll be back. Just trim that a little bit more, actually. Ooh, just a little bit. All right. Ooh, a little bit more. Just a tad, fraction. Yeah, I'm happy with that now. Yes. Excellent. Alrighty then. So what I want to do now is I want to paint black gesso. Grab some black gesso. Messy black gesso. Painty brush. Just grabbing a paintbrush from my stash to the side. You can hear me rattling. Right. Let's get that covered. And we don't have to be too precise. Okay, so that's that one, and then this one. All right, so I've just gone through the inside of around the inside of the frame. It's a Halloween project, so it doesn't have to be spot on or perfect, because, you know, decay, distress, all that kind of stuff. You can get away with murder, literally, on Halloween. So let's just give that a quick blast off with the old heat gun. Like I said, you can get away with murder, but I have missed a bit. So I'm just going to pick up that little bits of paint and add with my finger. Because you can. All right, so those two bits now are dry, but messy. So let me have a quick tidy up, clean up, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty then, so that's going to be the base. So we don't really need to do anything with that at all, because that's going to get covered up by the top of the frame, and don't forget our picture's going in the middle, so it's just going to be those bits in the background that might show up a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to add some colour to that. Now then, I did have somewhere, did I put them away? No, I didn't, they're just here. My indigo blue luscious pigment powders, and there's one called Verdigris. That's the one I'm looking for, which is a kind of green. It's really dark green with a hint of kind of like copper to it. So I want to add some of that to it, just to kind of give it that otherworldly kind of greeny glow. And it's just going to be within those, like the confines of those holes there. So I've got my powder. Going to dip in with the brush. Now there's a little bit of water on my brush already, but that doesn't make any difference. And I can just mix this up. Now, I don't know whether the camera's picking that up already, but you can see, I can see straight away that there's like a reddish coppery gold green kind of sparkle going on there. So I'm just going to dry brush, it's not really dry brushing. I'm just going to add some of that around the outside, because that's what's going to show through all these kind of like filigree hole kind of things. I just want a little bit of like reflection showing through under there. Grab some more powder, a bit more of the gum. Got to remember, it's just the holes we're trying to cover, and if we've missed any, that's all right, we can just come back. So I've missed one there, just a bit there. That's it. And the beauty of this stuff is it dries almost instantaneously. I mean, that's dry already. And even quicker in summer. All right, so, but what I also want to do is I want to add a little bit of kind of like a purpley thing to it. So I'm going to grab some of my purple cast, and then I can just come in and just maybe add just a hint of that violet kind of purple Halloweeniness. just in there too. So you've got the green and that purple kind of showing through, which I think just gives it a little hint. Let's pick up some more of that verdigris. And you can go backwards and forwards with it. You can do the dance with this. If you think you've got a bit too much on, just go back and just go over the top with the other. And blend it in and out. So grab a little bit more of that verdigris and just go over the top until you're happy. Look at the shine on it now. It's lovely. Right, let's drop that into the water. Get those lids back on there before I sneeze. Get this cleaned up. A bit of kitchen roll. Dry. All ready. And then put that to one side, and then we can come back with this. So actually what I should have done, I think, is maybe just kept some of that verdigris back. Actually, I might just do the whole thing again with that verdigris, because I kind of like it. Right, grab the brush again. I know I'm just changing my mind on the hoof here. It's one of those things. Sometimes as we're going along we think, oh no, I think that might look nicer, and we do it. When artists do it, and you can see, like when they've done restoration on paintings and the great masters and that kind of stuff, and you can see where they've, as they've been painting, they've thought, oh, I'm going to move that character's hand from there to there, or I'm going to drop the neckline on there to there, or I'm going to change the smile to make her look a bit more enigmatic. When they've done like x-rays on paintings, and you can see underneath where they've changed the minds, they call it pentiment or pentamente, where it shows how the artist, or that the artist has changed his or her mind, or their mind. So we're allowed pentiment or pentamente as we're going along. It's part of the process. Change your mind if you want to. Now I'm doing the brush strokes that way, diagonally, just to catch the edges. If I was of the mind, I could have put a stencil over the top of this and then done added crackle, or I could have added texture paste, all that kind of stuff. There are 1,001 different ways that you can leave your lover and also decorate something. So, you know, don't beat yourself up about choosing one path over another. As if you've ever done a class, an art class, you'll know that if everybody's given the same thing, a room of like 30 people, they're all given the same thing and told to do the same thing, every single one of them will do something different. And that's the beauty. So like I said, there's 1,001 ways in which to do things differently. Right, instead of putting the purple, the violet on that, I'm going to use a different one. I'm going to use a gold one, just because. just because we're playing and we're having fun. Well, I am anyway. I don't know about you guys at home. I hope you are. I hope you're enjoying it. I mean, I suppose if you're watching this far, you must be. Alright, so let's add a little bit of distressed gothic gold. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. We do like. I like the fact that you can still see some of the darkness from the black gesso underneath. And again, like I said, you could go around, you could add texture paste to this before you painted it black. You can add super thick gel medium through a stencil if you want to. All those kind of techniques are all at your disposal to do with, you know, whatever floats your boat, or as our friend says, whatever blows your hair back. So there's a little bit of a contrast, you see, between that purple in the background and the gold in the front. So you've got the green and the purple in the background and that gold and the green at the front. Likey. Right, let me get this cleared away, tidied, and then I'll be back. All right, so now it's time to add our little character. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of distress to her. Now there is obviously a wideish kind of like border going around this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and create a bit of a grungy kind of vignette. Because we're going on to what looks like coated cardstock, we can probably, we can just rub it with our fingers and just blend it a little bit before it dries too much. So I'm going to come in and just darken right around the outside, but leave her kind of like spotlighted in the middle. Lovely. This is why I always end up with fingers, different colours. Alright, so let's grab some glue. And then I'm just going to go around really, really gently, just around the outside. Around the outside. Yes, you're thinking it too. It's funny how we always think of certain song lyrics, isn't it, when we're doing stuff. Alright, so just got to be careful now when I lay this down. We've got a little bit of wiggle room, but not a huge amount. Bring that down a little bit. There we go. And then we can flip her over. Oh shit, look at that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Right, so now we can layer this on top of there, which is great. So again, maybe just a little bit stronger glue, I think. So I've got some grab and go, indigo blue grab and go. which is a stronger PVA. That's it. So I'm just going to go around, and then I'm going to add some just on the back of the picture as well, particularly in those corners. That should do us. Always wipe your nozzle. Just don't do it on the curtains. Right, let's flip that over. And drop that down. Right, so if we stand that up, there is going to be a little bit of a gap in between because you've got the thickness of the card of your horrible spooky doll. But that's all right, as long as it glues. Right, so the next thing is I've got one of those Tim Holtzy ideology, I think it was called Halloween accents. Now I don't know whether these are still available or not. Don't really care, to be honest, but I'm going to use mine up because I've been sitting on this for years. So I'm going to stick that down on there. Now I tried to find my glossy accents, but it's disappeared. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Ian. So instead, I've got some crackle accents. It'll do the same thing. It'll still glue. And it is a little bit stronger than the glue that I would have used PVA, because I'm only using this because it's metal. That long bat is made of metal. So I want something which is a bit more substantial. Let's flip that over and then drop that down on there like so. That's in middle. That'll do. And then just to kind of like finish, I want to add one of those horrible spiders. Maybe just do one up there. And these spiders I got recently from one of the bargain stores here in the UK, and I love these spiders because for the first time ever they've actually got flat backs, which means that you can use them quite easily on your craft projects, and they just drop and stick wherever you want them to go. So as soon as I spotted that they'd got flat backs, I went in and I bought a few packs. And by the word few, you can make up your own minds how many I actually did buy. And there's 40 spiders in each pack. So like I said, I'll let you decide how many I bought. This is one of those projects where you could just keep on adding spooky items and just having fun, having more and more and more fun. Right, so let me just put that to one side there and let me bring that hanger back in. So this is a really simple mechanism. You just pop out the 3 pieces like so, and then take your 2 squares, get your glue, put a blob of glue on one side of that piece, another blob of glue on that side, and then drop those squares over the corner. So line it up that way, and it's easy, sometimes you can easy to stand it up. There we go. You could go around with a sander, emery board, just to kind of get rid of any tiny little nubbins. Right, and then you put some glue on each of the squares again, and then you glue it to the back of your project. Then you've got the perfect little hanging mechanism for just hanging it on a picture hook or a nail or something like that. I have a little picture hook here. So once that's on the back, it just literally hooks over so you can hang it on the wall or anywhere where you want to. So I'll glue mine together, and I'm going to leave these for a little while just to glue in place, and then I'll be right back. She's creepy, isn't she? Absolutely love it. All right, so everything's now dried in place. You see that lovely shine on that frame. I love it. Right, so all we have to do now really is just to add that hanger back onto the back. So we can just flip that over, use the fluff, add one little blob of glue there, one little blob of glue. You don't need a huge amount of glue with this because it's not that heavy. It really isn't heavy at all. And then turn that over and then drop it somewhere in the middle towards the top, like that. And then all we have to do then is just to leave that to dry for, oh, I don't know, seeing as it's like glossy accents, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then we're good to go, I think. So it's been about quarter of an hour, and that hanger is now secured on the back, and all of the embellishments on the front are all now dry, and that can now be hung up and added to my decor for this year's Halloween decorations. So yeah, really enjoyed doing that. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create that little spooky, creepy dolly frame. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. And don't forget, if you like the frames, there are more shapes and sizes available on my website as we speak, which is a shameless plug, but there you go. That's all from me for now. I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.